Hey all, today we are going to see how to record purchase order cycle in Tally Prime. So what is purchase order cycle? It is nothing but, suppose if you are a manufacturing company and you are in need of any raw materials, or you are running a showroom kind of shop where you need the systems, music systems or washing machine, refrigerators, any other durables to be sold in your company, you have to buy it from a supplier in bulk, then only sell it in your firm, right? So in order for that to do that, you have a separate set of instructions you have to give in Tally Prime using vouchers, and in the purchase order cycle, from the starting of the order till the payment, you have to record 6 vouchers. So let's see on the screen, the first one is purchase order voucher, where you establish a basic contract between the buyer and the seller. If you are a buyer to the seller, you are actually asking him for the order of the goods that you need. The next one is, once you have ordered the goods and the supplier has sold the goods to you, so it has reached your premises, then you record a voucher called receipt note. The next voucher is, once you open the goods and see if you don't like any goods or if it's damaged or something, you are going to outright reject it, right? And we are going to record that under the rejection out order. Sorry, voucher. The next one is, we are finally recording all the goods that we have received under purchases. So we are going to record it under the purchase voucher. And after the voucher, the goods are purchased, and you are going to sell it to the client, and the client or somebody else finds the faults with the project. So they are going to return the purchases that is made from our store. So that is called as purchase return, right? And we are going to record it under the debit note voucher. And finally, after all these transactions are done, we are going to get the payment to the seller, right? So that we are going to record it under the payment voucher. So let's see a simple problem with details, and we are going to make a purchase order for music systems, and we have to create a stock group and stock items. We have to create units, and we are going to create 2 basic ledgers. So in order for a purchase order cycle, we need only 2 basic ledgers, that is a purchase ledger and a sundry creditor ledger. The seller, the person who's going to give you the goods, we are going to create only 2 ledgers, and we are going to input all these stock groups and stock items, and we are going to prosecute with each and every vouchers one by one. So let's go to Tally Prime. So once you start the Tally Prime, since it is for the educational purposes, we are going to continue in the educational mode. So I'm just going to create a company. This is already a company I created before. So I'm just going to create a new purchase order company. So I'm just going to go for company, create. And I'm going to give that as purchase order of music systems. So the sum has music systems. So I'm going to give this the company name. You can give any other company name. It's not going to create a problem. Next one is, we are going to select Tamil Nadu. And if you want to enter any other company details, you can enter. Since it's an educational mode, I'm not going to enter anything. So here, the financial year, since it is 2024, it is default. It is given as 24, right? So it may create a problem with the vouchers when we are recording in the educational mode. So I'm just going to record this date as 1st April 2020. So it's predated, so it is not going to create any other problem when you're recording the voucher. So I'm just going to click it as yes and wait for the company to be created. Here, we have to enable only 2 options, that is yes for accounting, and inventory we are going to input the stock groups and stock items, so yes. And here there is no need for taxation for now, since it's an educational mode. I'm going to do it as no and click it as ends. Now a new company called purchase order of music system is created. So since I mentioned earlier, we are going to create 2 ledgers that is needed for the company. So I'm just going to go to masters, gateway of Tally, create. Under ledger, I'm going to create a sundry creditor. So I'm just going to create him as Mr. Creditor. Let's call him Mr. Creditor, and he's going to be under sundry creditor, and give it as yes. That's it. No need for giving any other amount or anything. The next one I'm going to create is a purchases. So this obviously come under purchases accounts. Again, I'm just going to click it yes. So we have created 2 ledgers that is needed. Now we are going to input the stock items. We are going to create the stock items. If you see the sum, we have to create a stock group and the stock items. So I'm going to start with creation of create. Go here under inventory masters, we have something called stock group. I'm going to create a primary heading count music systems. These are the primary, and please give it here as yes, so further items can be added later. Give it as yes. So I'm just going to go back, and before creating the stock items, we need to create something called unit so that it can be quantified. So I'm just going to click it as unit. Here I'm going to give it as numbers. So if you need full form, you can give it, otherwise it's not a need, give it as yes. So I've created both stock group and unit. Next, I'm going to create the stock items. So if you see, go back to the sum, you have to create 3 stock items, Samsung, Sony, and LG. So let's create one by one. The first one is Samsung. Here it is under music system, and it is under number. No need to give any other details. Just give it as yes. The second one will be Sony. Again, select the appropriate things just like the before. Give it as yes. And the last one will be LG. Again, music systems. Again, it's numbers. Give it as yes. So we have input all the necessary details for our voucher purposes. So now it is the time where we are going to go and create all these 6 vouchers. And please remember to record the vouchers one by one in this correct sequential order. If you record any voucher for this payment voucher first or receipt note first, and if you confuse the order, it is not going to give you the correct answer, right? So it is a purchase order cycle, and it should be recorded in the order. So the first, you see, we have like 6 items, right? So if you go back to Tally and click vouchers, you're going to see the payment voucher and the purchases voucher that is already enabled. But if you go back and see, we need purchase order voucher, receipt note voucher, rejection out voucher, and debit note voucher. It is not really available here. So we are going to go to the other voucher option and enable each and every one. So either you click F10 or go to other vouchers. You see the debit note is already enabled, so you have to just click it whenever it is needed. All plus F1. And I want purchase order voucher, rejection out, and receipt note. So here I'm going to click it as inactive. And if you see under order vouchers, there is something called purchase order. So in order to activate that, either double click it or click Control plus F9. So I'm just going to double click it and leave it as yes. So if you see the purchase order voucher is enabled, and we have to enable 2 more vouchers, right? So I'm going to go back here, click show in inactive, and here I'm going to activate the receipt note. Yes. And one more voucher we need to activate, that is rejections out. So again, go back to F10, click show inactive, and click this rejection out. So we have enabled all the vouchers. Now we are going to input one by one. The first is going to be purchase order voucher. So if you want, you can either go to this other type of voucher and select the purchase order, or click directly Control plus F9. Sorry. So here we have created the party name is Mr. Creditor. So Sunday Creditor, just give it as enter here. And here also enter, no need for entering any other details. Now this part is extremely important here. The order number is a number which we are going to use to track the whole purchase order cycle. So let's start with, and it is obviously given as 1. I'm going to just give it as 001. Okay, here it is purchases. So the first item that we are going to record, see the sum. We are going to order for Samsung 10 quantity for 18,000 rupees. So I'm just going to click it as yes. The item will be shown here, Samsung. Here, just give it as enter. Only on the second line under the quantity you have to click anything, right? So what is the amount that we are going to order is 10 here. And let me just check it once more. Yes, 10 numbers. Here it is 18,000 rupees. Give it as here and give it yes. So the next one more item is Sony. Here again click it under quantity. The quantity we are going to order is 15 and it's for 20,000 rupees. So it's 20,000. Give it as yes. And the next one will be LG. Again, let's go back and check. It's 12 numbers for 12,000 rupees. 12 and here is also 12,000 rupees. So click it as yes. So we have entered every other things that is needed. We have given the order to the supplier, Mr. Creditor, to give all these items for us. So I'm just going to give it as enter, and it is going to ask whether it's accept. So yes. So under the purchase order cycle, the first one is created successfully. The next one is when we are receiving the product from the supplier, we are going to record it under the receipt note voucher. So let's go back. The shortcut key is Alt plus F9. So the receipt note, since we have enabled it before itself, if you just click the shortcut key, it's going to come. So the reference number, and if you remember that purchase order number we have given was 001, so I'm going to give the same reference number here. And if you see, again the party's account number is Mr. Creditor. Here it is very important. Please click this order number as 001 in the end of the list. Here just give enter for every other details that's not needed in the educational mode. Again, we are going to select the party details as it is. And if you see, whatever the details that we have given in the purchase order, it is easily available here. So yes, so I'm just going to enter everything. Please don't change anything, just give enter. That is enough for this. So yes, at the last, it is to accept or not. We are going to yes, click yes, yes. So we have created 2 vouchers, that is purchase order voucher, and we have received the goods, that is receipt note voucher. The next situation is you find the products that is delivered to you have some kind of faulty goods. Okay, so I'm going to reject the product, and if you see, go back to and see the sum. They are asking you to reject one Samsung item back. So I'm going to go back. And you see what is the shortcut key for rejection out? It's Control plus F5. So I'm going to click Control plus F5 here. So you can see the rejection out. And the ledger account is the supplier's name, that is Mr. Creditor. So I'm going to click it here. And if you want to give the supplier's full address, you can give it here. Let's just leave it as it is. So I'm going to click enter here. Once the cursor comes under here, so I'm going to click yes. We are going to reject one Samsung, right? So here 1. And please note that the tracking number is this. Okay, here. And here we are going to give it the quantity as 1 Samsung. Yes, and end of this. That's all. So we are going to reject one Samsung item that is for 18,000 rupees. Click enter and save this. So yes, so if you go back and see, the third voucher is also completed. Now we are going to proceed with recording the purchases. So let's go back. I'm going to give F9 as purchase voucher. Otherwise you can click it here also. It is actually here. And the supplier's invoice number is again 1001. So the party's name is Mr. Creditor. Here the receipt note number is 001 and end of the list. Yes, and here also the creditor, the same thing that we have to see. And if you see here, the first we actually ordered Samsung 10, right? And we did the rejection for 1. So it's 10 minus 1 is 9. So here we are recording the purchases for only 9. It is automatically displayed. That means that your vouchers has been recorded properly. So here the quantity is 9, Sony is 15, LG is 12 because we have not rejected any other things. So here also just like the receipt note, just give enter for everything. Keep on clicking the enter. Once you come to the end of it, please click something called against difference. Okay, click here and click enter. The amount will come directly. So click it as yes. So that's it. Yep, yes. So we have recorded the 4th voucher, that is the purchase voucher. Now again, once you purchase the goods inside and you sell it to the client, so you again find some kind of faulty goods, you want to return the purchased item, that will be considered called purchase return, and it will be recorded under the debit note voucher. The shortcut key is go back. So it's all plus F5. So it's debit note voucher. Again, The name of the party is Mr. Creditor. Again, the tracking number here, it's not needed. It will be asked in the later thing. Okay. So again, it's not applicable. You will just enter here the creditor, the party details. Again, the same thing. Here, I'm going to reject according to the sum they have given. The purchase return should be for LG 2 numbers. So here, I'm going to click it as L. So LG is selected. Here, just give it as not applicable. Give enter. Here, under the quantity, give 2. Again, you see the rate will be displayed automatically. Give it as enter, give enter, just end of list. Again, you just click it as enter. One more prompt will come at the end. Here, please click it as against reference because you're going to track the whole order. So it is showing the pending bill. So just click this one, select this one, click enter and click yes. So we have returned the purchased item of 2 LG music system units. And finally, we have one more voucher that is pending as payment voucher to end this purchase order cycle. And the shortcut key for it is F5. So I'm just going to go and click F5. It is also displayed here. You can do that. Okay. So in some Tally versions, it will be displayed differently. If you just click and see Control plus H, either it will be displayed like this, or if you again click Control H, either it will be displayed like this. According to your own convenience, you can just click Control plus H and change the input mode. So here I'm just going to give it as the normal journal entry, the debit and credit counterparts. So we are going to the correct form or the journal entry for this payment voucher will be Mr. Creditor's account letter to cash. We are going to finish off his account by paying him. So select Mr. Creditor, and if you see the amount that is displayed is 5,82,000. Please enter the same amount here. Again, it is against the reference. The balance that we have to pay is 5,82,000. Give it as enter, and here we are going to credit the cash account. And please don't worry if it is under red and it is going to show something as negative cash, because when we are starting the company, we didn't input any kind of cash inside the company. So the cash balance was nil. So since it is for the educational purposes, it is not a problem. So just click any other button. When you click enter, click once again enter and yes. So we go back and see we have recorded all the 6 vouchers under purchase order cycle. So I'm going to see, and now we are going to see the results and how to find what that we have recorded all the vouchers. So here under the vouchers itself, we have something called daybook. If you see, you have you can actually see all the 6 vouchers we have entered. Now if you want to see what is the status of the goods that we have ordered, we have rejected 1 good and we have given the purchase return for 2 goods. So go to Gateway of Tally, see something called stock summary and click enter here. So if you see in the previous sum, when we recorded in the order, the LG was for if you see, LG was for 12 and we have rejected 2, so it is 10. So see, the LG is displayed as 10 numbers. Again, the Samsung, we have done the rejection note, 10 minus 1 is 9, so here it's 9. Sony, we have not done any other changes, the Sony remains the same. So this is how you record a proper purchase order cycle under Tally. Thank you for listening.